Welcome to the Gathering Greenhouse, a podcast to help us grow together. Good morning, David. Good to see you.
Aren't you going to introduce yourself?
No. I'm Steve.
And I'm David.
And John is not here today because he is in Destin.
You know, he's kind of just a sideshow anyway.
Is he?
Yeah. This right here. This is
and
where
Matt,
it's at.
Does Matt get included in that?
Matt's the fact checker.
The fact checker?
Yeah.
He is good at that. And his outfit's looking pretty drip today. He's got all black and white.
What?
Did you say it's looking pretty drip?
Yeah.
What does that even
Did you just
mean?
make that up? Or is that what the kids are saying?
That's what the kids are saying. Yeah.
What kids are saying this?
Like,
All of them.
Is it
united. They're united in one
all
voice.
of them? They're dripping it all the time.
Oh, yeah. But
Wait, is it like short for something? Like if you say Riz, like, dude, you got the Riz.
no, I think
That's short for charisma.
Oh, no. It's not short for anything. We can fact check it here with our fact checker.
Even I don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can only help you so much, Matt.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, you gotta be cool like us. I don't know what else to say beyond that.
Yeah, we're pretty dope.
Yeah.
You're using
Yeah.
Rad. We're super rad.
and sentences over the
Well,
short.
If you ever need any help, you can come to us.
Because Steve is the drippiest of all.
Very drippy in a lot of ways. The older I get.
I don't think that's a real thing.
It is. Matt's not doing his job over there.
It's because he's not very drippy.
He's not. Okay. So
Wait, was that one of the Seven Dwarfs?
drippy. No, it's Dippy. No, that's the guy that kids like to watch.
No,
with the orange and blue. His name is Dippy.
No, that's Blippy.
No, Dippy.
No.
And I know this stuff.
I like to call him Dippy.
I don't think I've ever seen it other than like the clips you guys have shown me.
Thankfully, my kids don't watch him anymore.
Episode of that. It looks like an awful show.
It really is. But he's made millions and millions. He's a genius.
Caillou level awful.
Although,
Do you know who Caillou is?
Caillou's worse, but some people love Caillou.
No.
And there's like Caillou raps out there and stuff. Have you seen any of those?
Like as in like
they're much better.
like a song rap?
Like someone,
or
like
something
spoofed
you rap
it.
around yourself.
No, like someone,
Like a remake?
Yeah.
A remix?
right, like
Okay.
that.
Our kids weren't allowed to watch Caillou.
Oh, Caillou existed all the way back in
and it was awful
in the
then.
1900s.
In the 1900s, yep.
Cool.
and in the 1800s as well.
No, not in the 1800s.
I heard, was he inspired by William Shakespeare?
Caillou?
Okay, well, anyway, I did have something planned this morning. So you may have heard that Bill's Donuts was recently sold. Okay?
I did.
And this is making everybody nervous around the gathering.
It should. Not just the gathering, the whole world.
Well, I'm just talking about the gathering.
On the world
here.
stage, there's like three big things going on.
Ukraine,
right?
Israel.
No, not even Ukraine anymore. It's Israel and Hamas, right?
Right.
And it's then like Speaker of the House. And then it's
everyone
Bill's
needs
Donuts
to be
right
chill
there.
out about Speaker of the House.
It's Bill's Donuts right there.
Come on. If it was a surprise that the Republicans and Democrats don't have it together, I don't know what else I can do for you.
Right.
If this was shocking.
Yeah. Of course, it looks
What do
like
you think
maybe...
of Jim? What do you think of Jim Jordan?
No jacket, Jim.
Jim Jordan?
Yeah. Do
you like him?
He always goes into the congressional
Which Jordan
hearings.
do you like better, Michael or Jim?
Oh, man. So it's got to be Jim. Not because I necessarily like him, but I mean, Michael Jordan, no. I think Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Uh-huh.
But as a, diehard Piston fan during that era,
Yeah.
I mean, there were not
kinda
many
sent them out.
Yeah, well, I mean, they sent him out lots of times,
Right.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people don't realize that the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys, in order for them to win the championships they won, they had to go through Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
all three.
And Mark Price and Brad Daugherty.
And Mike.
Wow! You're
Also-
Mark Price and Brad.
Brad. If Brad Daugherty hadn't got hurt, who knows?
You
what
have a
would've
good
happened.
argument there. You do, because Cleveland had really good teams.
Yeah, Craig Elo.
People don't remember that, but Cleveland did have really good teams.
They had
back then.
Harper, I can't remember his first name.
Ron.
Ron Harper, who went on to play for the Bulls.
Yeah, I went to the. As did several of the bad boys. Dennis Rodman, John Sally, James Edwards, all ended up on the Bulls.
Yeah.
Bulls couldn't beat them, so they just recruited them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, where were we going?
Well,
Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan.
Jacketless Jim.
Yeah, I don't even listen to that news. I just tune it out.
I saw last night. I just really quickly hit the news. I was watching Monday Night Football, and then I clicked over. I wonder what's going on over in Israel, and they're talking about the speaker. And I had totally forgotten that was even a thing. The whole Speaker of the House thing. They're like, "Oh, Jim Jordan's 8 votes away," and I kind of just giggled about that because it's. The Republicans have completely flipped in how they're complaining.
Yeah.
Right. It was the kind of the centrist old school Republicans were complaining against the hard right new school, and now it's the hard right new school that's complaining against the centrist old school. It's just.
But can they change that 12 o'clock game? You know what I'm saying with Ohio State, Penn State? Can they do something about that? Everyone's complaining.
Why?
Oh, everyone's up in arms about the Ohio State Penn State game being a big noon. But anyway, I don't want to.
What happens if Penn State wins that game? Does Ryan Day get fired?
Yes.
I don't think he actually does. But what happens if Penn State beats Ohio State and then he loses to Michigan for the third time in a row?
There's a good chance that all those scenarios could happen.
If I hope they fire Ryan Day, and I hope he goes to Michigan State because he is a good coach, and y'all don't know what you got.
Yeah, but anyway,
all right.
So I'll just bring it out here. I brought some, some glazed donut sticks in this morning, in case Bill's does go completely down.
Can't go wrong with Little Debbie.
It's a Little Debbie. I thought it'd be fun to try some of them, and since we could be searching for a new donut provider here at the gathering. You never know.
If Bill's goes south.
Bill's goes south. So
what do you think the odds are that the new owners will remodel the inside of Bill's?
What are the odds? 30%.
How much money?
30%?
I hope they get rid of some of the clutter in there.
See, here's my thinking on that.
Matt, would you like to try one of these?
If
they're pre-wrapped.
If they go in there and remodel the whole inside, they're going to get it in their minds that, hey, we know what we're doing. Yeah. And then they're going to start messing with the recipes. I think they just leave it exactly as is. I mean, why mess with something that works?
Yeah.
The clutter and the oldness and all that doesn't keep people away. There's still lines out the door. Why mess with it? Just leave it. If you're watching this new owners of Bill's, don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Don't mess.
I agree. I will live with that. There's not that much clutter, but
sometimes there is.
Depending on what's going on. Like they have that second section, and
I don't even know what that is back there.
Yeah, it's there's always clutter back there.
Maybe they should open a pizza store back there.
If we could only pan around this room we're in. Never mind. Okay.
So we go from Bill's
This used to be my office.
Bill's Pizza.
Yes, and I'm just noticing this is a Little Debbie, but it also says McKee, a family bakery. So I don't know if they're the ones who actually own it. So they may own the rights to this glazed donut stick with Little Debbie. Do you know anything about that, David?
I don't. I've never even noticed that before. Now I have all kinds of questions.
Really haven't either.
So Little Debbie is most likely the distributor of that.
All right. We'll have you guys guess. When is the expiration date? Like, when are these good till?
25.
No. It is this year sometime.
Did you buy them today?
No, I bought them a couple days ago.
All right, what's today? It's October 17th. We're filming this 17th. On the 17th. It'll be released on the 18th.
Yeah. I'm
going to go with November 30th.
Okay.
Matt's December 2nd.
Okay. No, actually, it surprised me. It's only good till November 12th. I mean, only. I say only in the sense of you eat Bill's Donuts 2 days after.
You don't know. That might have gone on the shelf 2 years ago.
That's true. I don't know how popular these are, but the branding is nice. I do like the box. It's you may not even be able to see it from here, but
so we're gonna break one of these open, and we're gonna see if it looks like the box when you break it open.
Which I heard that there's some type of
All right.
I don't know if you heard this, but there's some type of I don't know if it's a lawsuit or something coming through where they commercials have to actually look like what they sell. Have you heard that? Matt's shaking his head.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it is.
It's bad.
I think it. So I think
Crumbly on the inside. Not
no, I mean just
enough.
look at how it just looks
A little bit
stale.
well,
it looks stale.
I'm just saying my fingers feel a little bit sticky. Like I would expect
looks
it
like
to
it
be,
could be moist,
Yeah.
and
it
it
looks
looks stale.
more like a biscuit, maybe consistency.
And it's not going to be as good as Hardee's biscuits.
No, clearly not. Okay, you don't have to. You just take one bite.
Okay.
But it just smells sweet and like floury. I don't know.
It's not bad. I mean,
It's dry. It's definitely dry, but
I'm not
it's got a
in
lot
love
of
with
sugar
it.
on the outside.
I've never really liked the frosting on these. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, it's actually glaze. I don't know what the
so
difference
would
is.
you go
in that.
with this or Tim Hortons?
Well, I haven't had Tim Horton. Like, is there a specific kind of donut at Tim Horton? Like, do they have those
I don't know.
at Tim Hortons? Okay.
Like Timbits, I think, are what they're most famous
Okay,
for.
I would definitely go with Timbits.
Would you go with Timbits or what's the Dunkin's version?
Yeah, my mouth is like coated in like I don't know something.
Yeah, what's Dunkin's version of the Timbits? It's the
Like your Timbits, the holes. The
yeah.
donut
What are they
holes?
called?
I don't know.
I can never remember.
Bites.
Maybe
Dunkin. It's got to probably start with a D.
Dunkin'
Dots.
Dots.
Munchkins.
Munchkins.
Mun-
Ooh, that's the
make-
best. That's a good name. I like the Munchkins.
I
Yeah.
should know
Plus, they
this.
come in a cool Munchkin box. I've gotten the
Yeah, but so
Munchkins
do
for
the
my kids.
Timbits.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure which is better. I'll tell you who's got better coffee for sure is Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Tim Horton's coffee is garbage.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry up north friends, eh?
Yeah. Reminds me a little bit of maybe like a Chick-fil-A coffee, which I don't like. Yeah, I do not care for Chick-fil-A
I'd even
coffee.
put Chick-fil-A ahead
Above
of
them?
Tim Hortons. And yeah, you're right. Chick-fil-A does
Okay.
not have the best coffee.
Panera or McDonald's?
Coffee?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which Panera coffee because they've got multiple. You got dark roast, light roast,
Yeah. Well,
hazelnut.
okay. Let's go with the light roast.
If it's light roast, I go McDonald's.
Okay.
If it's dark
I
roast
don't
or
think-
hazelnut, I go Panera.
I don't think that McDonald's has a dark roast, right? There's only one
They
choice.
just have just their coffee. I don't think McDonald's coffee's bad.
No, neither do
drink
I.
McDonald's coffee.
You're right. It's not
But-
not my choice.
So when you get Panera coffee, what do you get?
I go the dark roast
So
most of the time.
you don't do a mix.
No. Is it good mixed?
I like I like to mix the dark roast and the hazelnut. Because the dark roast I think is just a little too bitter, and the hazelnut just knocks a little bit of that edge off.
Okay.
So I usually go about 2/3 dark
Yeah.
roast, 1/3 hazelnut.
I generally avoid hazelnut because I'm actually allergic to it. But I'm sure it's like
Really?
artificial flavoring. So I'm not allergic
now
to that
we know how
stuff.
to get rid of him.
Hazelnut. You know, I don't know how allergic I am anymore.
Well, let's find out.
Well, just saying.
This sounds like a great
I had
podcast
I had a pie
episode.
that had it had a
How
hazelnut
allergic is
crust,
Steve?
and I ate like half of it, and then I realized, you know what? That kind of tastes like hazelnut.
Hey, we believe
And I-
it. We believe in
Maria's
science
like, we need to go
here.
to the hospital now. I'm like, I'm not sick. I'm fine.
Do you have an EpiPen?
Yeah,
Where is it?
I don't know. Maria carries it sometimes for me.
Maria carries it sometimes.
I'm not that concerned.
All right.
I'm not concerned.
So next week, hazelnut.
I had a really bad reaction when I was in Haiti one time, which is not a good place to have an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we get to some sermons type questions?
Yeah, okay.
Sermon-ish.
All right. Yep.
Should we get more serious for a little bit? And I see what kind of. So I see you got a lion's hat on, and you got.
do.
Do you have a lion? Is that a lion shirt?
No,
'Cause it's not the same color.
Actually, it's kind of a funny shirt I have on.
Okay. But you're not going to tell us.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good joke.
For all those people. Oh, never.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
it was blue. I looked in my drawers like, do I have a blue
Listen.
shirt? I need a blue shirt.
Did you have more than like where you grew up, Muskegon? I'm not sure how big it is. I'm guessing it's a fairly good sized city.
It's probably a little bit bigger than Springfield.
Okay, so pretty good sized city.
Yeah.
Got pretty much everything there. Did they have more? Like, did they have a family video there too, or
Yeah.
anything else?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they had like. So did your family? Yeah, I know you didn't get to watch many movies.
You mean?
Did they have like a Christian section?
Wait. Are you asking about when I was growing up?
Yeah,
We didn't have even I'm older than you.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't. There was no Blockbuster yet when I was growing up.
Just the
Blockbuster
regular
showed
one.
up,
Like, but there were
Yeah.
before Blockbuster. There were
like local places.
Yeah, local
Sure,
places.
but we didn't have a VCR machine. So
you couldn't watch those at all.
No.
Do you have a VCR now?
personally,
Yeah.
no.
No, this is not worth.
I
going
think
back.
we do still have a DVD player.
Yeah.
I don't think I know where it is, but I think we have one.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So
Actually, I think we actually do have a VCR in the house right now. I think we just brought it home from somewhere else where we were kind of cleaning stuff out.
Oh, okay. And found some good stuff. A lot of Hallmark movies.
Yes.
Okay. Question. We're going deep right away.
Okay.
We're going from non-serious to very serious.
All right.
We're just going to screech the tires, hit the
right.
brakes here. Do you think we're living in end times? That is the question.
Yep.
Are we?
Yep.
Well, of course we are, because what other times would we be living in?
Sure.
We're not in the beginning times.
Yeah.
We're not really in the middle times.
Yeah, let's approach that question from three different angles.
Right.
So first and foremost, the obvious one, and I've said this before: every day we're a day closer to the end.
Right.
Right.
So, but I think the question here is: are we close to the end?
Are we close? So yeah, we're closer than we were yesterday. Right. So that's angle one. So let's keep going. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So angle two is, what did Jesus inaugurate when he was here?
Right. What did he usher in? Because there was a lot of things that had to take place, a lot of prophecies that had to be fulfilled, and Jesus just, knocked them down. And he got him out of the way.
He did. So
quickly.
we know that Jesus, when he first came onto the scene in his public ministry, launched it by saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Yeah.
So we know right away that's a clue to us something's changing here. Right? Something different's going on.
Yeah. Can I ask one question? How do we know that section is trustworthy?
What do you mean? That's
actually what
actually what he said.
That's actually what he said. I'm just this is a question for another time.
It is, and I'll give you a quick answer.
Yeah.
Right. Like all four gospels have him using that kind of language.
Yeah.
And so if you don't trust the gospels, of course you don't trust it.
Right.
But I get a kick out of people who they think they know who Jesus is, but their ideas about him are completely based on the gospel accounts. They just throw out the parts they don't like. Right. So yeah, Jesus was kind and loving and compassionate, and he loved people, and he was a great teacher. Right? All that's true, but how do you know? If you throw out the gospels, how do you know that?
Yeah.
So I mean,
firsthand accounts.
Yeah, it's a question of just do you trust the gospels, and we should cover that more another time. I think we've covered it some before, and we come back to it. It's a good question.
Yeah.
But to go back to Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is at hand, right?
Yeah.
So it's near, something new is coming in. And then after the ascension and on the day of Pentecost, Peter preaches his sermon.
Yeah.
And he quotes from the book of Joel. And from the book of Joel that he's quoting about is about this period of time called the day of the Lord. And the day of the Lord is this big period of time that has a lot going on, right? It's got the restoration of the Jewish people as a part of it, but also God's judgment on evil, a bringing in of all things. And so the day of the Lord encompasses all of that. But Peter actually says, what Joel wrote about then is happening now. So Peter seems to indicate, hey, we have entered this new period of time that is essentially the day of the Lord, which means everything that needs to happen has happened. So that goes all the way back 2,000 years ago. So this 2,000 years is a period of time. It's the day of the Lord. We talked a little bit on Sunday about the times of the Gentiles. Yes. We're certainly in the times of the Gentiles. Jerusalem has been trampled on for 2 millennia. But here's the third angle. And this is where I think this is why, I think we're close. I mean, as close as we've ever been, obviously. Yeah. But a couple things going on. Number one, you see what's going on in Israel. And even since 1948, when Israel became a nation, that really changed everything. And this won't be meaningful for a lot of people, but for some it will be. If you have always had the perspective of premillennial, pre-tribulation view of the end times, that has always been a little bit tricky because there's stuff in Revelation that's hard to interpret literally. Revelation's a weird book.
Yes.
And the pre-trib, premillennial position depends on a lot of that being interpreted somewhat literally.
Yeah. But is it weird in the sense of just the style it's written in, or is it weird in another way?
Well, let me give you an example. It's both, obviously. Yeah. But there are some things that it says.
Wouldn't that time that it was written been in a style that people would have recognized and No.
Yeah, sure, but that's
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, but I don't want to dive
Okay.
down into
Okay.
that. But there are parts in Revelation that are tricky. So
Yeah.
there's these guys, these two witnesses, right? And I think this is chapter maybe 11. And there's these two witnesses that have this message. They're from God, and it says, and their message goes out to the whole world. And then there's this thing that happens between them and the Antichrist, where the Antichrist actually kills them. And it says the whole world watches it. And for forever, people have looked at that and said, well, that can't be literal, because how would that even be possible?
Yeah.
Well, look at where we are today. In the last half century, again, getting back to like 1948, in the last half century, we understand how that's possible now.
Yeah.
Something had happened on the other side of the world, and we all see it instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's live. There's a lot of those kind of things in Revelation that all of a sudden we can see them in a whole different light. That, okay, this actually could happen as it is described.
Yeah.
And so I think with that being the case, we see, the way the nations are posturing themselves. I think there's a legitimate argument that, yeah, this is the end times. I'm not saying it's my lifetime, but our lives are like a vapor.
Yeah.
So what is the 70 years of David in this grand scope of things? It's not a long time.
Yeah.
A day is like 1,000 years in the eyes of the Lord. But if you had to hold me to it, I'd say next couple centuries. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So why should we take it more seriously now than people have been saying? Like, even in the New Testament, they were talking about Jesus coming back soon. So why is it now more than ever relevant?
I don't know that it's necessarily that we should be taking it more seriously, but maybe our eyes are a little more open. And maybe now we take it more seriously, as seriously as we should have before. Because back 2,000 years ago, the disciples took it pretty seriously. But Jesus also said, when you see this stuff start to unfold, heads up, it's coming. He said, as you see these signs happen, you should be alert to that. I think we're seeing signs happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. We're going to change gears here. We have a baptism Sunday coming up soon, a couple Sundays from now. Be the last Sunday of the month. So if baptism really doesn't have much to do with our salvation, why should we go ahead and get baptized?
Yep.
Why is that important?
Yeah. So on Sunday, we talked about how salvation has throughout history been the same, that it's about faith, right? And in the Old Testament, there were external expressions that revealed internal faith. Right? The whole sacrificial system was based on this. So if I brought a lamb to the tabernacle or the temple, and I gave it to the priest, and they did the whole sacrificial thing, sprinkled the blood, killed the lamb, burned it, all that. None of that saved me.
Yeah.
That wasn't effective for anything. It's just a lamb, and it's blood, and it's smoke, and it's all that. But all of it was like an external expression of me saying, I am doing something that I normally wouldn't do. And it costs me a little bit, but I'm doing it to demonstrate that I believe God can take care of my sin problem. So we also here in the New Testament age have the same kinds of things. Now, we don't kill lambs, but we have external expressions of internal faith. Communion is one. There are some religious traditions that would say, hey, there's something in the bread and there's something in the juice, right? Like some religious traditions, at the end of the service, if there's any of the wine that's left over, do you know what they do to it?
They drink it.
They
all,
do.
Chug it all.
And
Actually,
sometimes I think, man, I should have been in that one.
You know
right?
what else I found out too? Is it if you have to feed the leftover crackers or bread to birds?
Because
I don't know. I didn't get the because, but we actually saw some when we were cleaning up in the worship center, and we saw some on the ground, and we were joking about it, and these are like, oh, we have to take it out and give it to the birds. I'm like, I never heard that before.
I think you're talking about a different tradition than I am.
Yeah.
I'm not actually talking, you're talking about where you used to be.
In a Methodist world,
and I'm not talking about them.
Catholic.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of cool that they get to drink all the wine. But the reason is they don't want to waste it because they believe it's literally the blood of Christ and the body of Christ.
Yeah.
And they believe that there is something that actually happens when you eat the bread and drink the wine. Jesus did not teach that.
No.
No. But he taught that this was a representation of something. So when I eat the crackers, when I drink the juice or the wine,
Do this in remembrance of me.
I'm remembering.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a symbol. It's an external symbol that I say, I believe that it was Jesus' body
Yeah.
and Jesus' blood that saved me.
Can we use our minds too and just say, well, obviously this isn't Jesus's blood and this is obviously isn't his body?
Well, we can, but I mean, I don't want to rule out the miraculous.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that whole argument is an argument that something miraculous is happening, and I do believe in miracles, and but I just don't think that's one that was prescribed by the Bible.
Okay.
Right? I
Fair enough.
don't think that's taught in the Bible. All right. So, anyways, the whole point being external expression, internal faith. That's
Yeah.
what baptism is. So when I get into the water, I'm doing something that I normally wouldn't do. And it's not exceptionally costly, but I mean, it costs me a little bit of time, and I might be nervous about doing it up in front of people, and so but it's something that I wouldn't normally do that I'm doing to express my faith.
Yeah.
So it's an external expression of internal faith. Now, here's the thing: we have an example in the New Testament that believers who got saved immediately got baptized.
Yeah.
They immediately did this sign.
Yeah.
We know that Jesus got baptized as an example for us. So it is important.
Yeah.
It doesn't save us, right? If you put your faith in Christ and don't get baptized, you still go to heaven like the thief on the cross. He didn't get baptized.
Yeah.
But if you want to experience the fullness of the life that Jesus offers, then you have to be willing to submit yourself to what he prescribes. And he
Right.
prescribes that. That's why it's important.
Yeah. If he says it, there's a reason why he said it. And I think it's a really cool experience, not only for the person getting to do it, but for the church community as a whole. We're often inspired by other people's signs of faith, like that energizes us too. I mean, we were designed and built to live in community.
Yeah.
It's part of that.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I've baptized a lot of people, and I've baptized kids, baptized adults, baptized super old people, and my observation over the years is that it is much more meaningful to adults.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying wait till you're an adult to do it. I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you are an adult and you haven't done it, you will be surprised at how meaningful this experience is when you come up out of the water.
Right.
So
if someone's been baptized before, maybe as a kid or even an infant, is it okay for them to get baptized here again?
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you have to do it.
Right.
And, I think that every situation is different.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to take it on a case-by-case basis. I don't think somebody should get baptized every year.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's necessary because it is a one-time thing. But, if you're saying, hey, I got baptized as a kid and I didn't know what it meant, I'm not sure I had actually put my faith in Christ yet, and I want to do it again, I think that's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, that's the baptism stuff. So if you are watching and you either come to the gathering or some other church, we encourage you to get baptized. And
Can we put a link in the? Can we put a link in the? Do we call them show notes or description?
we definitely can. It's definitely
right.
possible. Yes.
I love how I always just say this and nobody knew we were going to do it, and Matt's always like, "Yep, we can do it."
Yeah, that's not hard to do.
All right.
That's easy enough.
It's simple.
All right.
That's easy. Because there's a place to register, but you can also put on your connection
Church
card.
Center
too.
app.
So
if you're part of the gathering, go to the Church Center app.
Yep. Okay. Last question. This one's just more fun here.
All right.
Are the Lions the best team in the NFL?
What do you think?
I think the jury's still out on that. I think there's still some time.
The jury's still out on whether they're the best team in the NFL.
Right. Yeah. I think that they're definitely one of the best teams in the NFL right now. But we looking at some other teams who, early on in the season, people were saying wild things about them, like the Dolphins and the Cowboys and the 49ers. People may have walked that back a little bit now.
Yeah. I'm not sure anybody's walking it back on the 49ers. I mean, everybody loses a game.
Yeah.
So 49ers are still a good team.
Well, they're also down some players too, which every team is.
So are the Lions.
Yeah. Right.
So here's what I would say. For the first time in my lifetime,
Yeah.
I think there is an objective argument to be made that right now, today, they're the best
Okay.
team in the NFL. And here it is.
Not subjective, only objective.
No, it is an objective argument.
Yeah.
There are, I think, 5 teams tied for the best record in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And of those 5, only 2 of them have played each other.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know who those two are?
What is it? The Chiefs and who the Chiefs play?
The Lions.
Oh, did they?
First game of the season.
Okay.
And who won that game?
The Lions won.
So there you go.
Which was everyone was so shocked.
All the teams that are tied for the
Yeah.
top, only those 2 have played head to head. And now, having said that, you know,
the Chiefs seem to start the season bad, though.
well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna. You win, right? You win or
Yeah.
you lose.
Right.
And I've always been a person who says, I don't care what the polls say. I want to
Yeah.
know who beats who.
Right.
That's what matters. So for the first time in my life, I think there is an objective argument. Having said that, I don't think they're the best team in the NFL. I think this coming week will be a big test for them. They play the Baltimore Ravens.
So how do you think that they went from 1-5 to 5-1
So,
in one season?
well, by winning a lot more.
Well, yeah, but I mean, did they just not have it all together, or did they make some fundamental change?
I think there's a couple things. This is
a pretty big turnaround.
It is, but I think the turnaround started a couple years earlier.
Right.
So,
well, they ended their season also winning too.
right. Over the last
they almost made the play. They didn't make the play.
No,
they were
missed
super
at
close,
the very
right?
end. Yeah, over the last 17 weeks, that's a full season.
Yeah.
Over the last 17 weeks in the NFL, the best team is the 49ers, the second best team is the Chiefs, the third best team is the Lions. So, I mean, they've not got a full season's worth of games that look good.
Yeah.
So they changed their culture by changing to their coach. And when they brought this new coach in, I didn't like him.
Yeah.
His first press conference is like, they're going to knock us down and we're going to bite their kneecaps. Rah, rah, rah. And I was like, oh, great. We got another one of these guys, right?
It'd be hard to bite someone's kneecap with a helmet on.
But here's a great leadership lesson. What Dan Campbell, the coach, has done is he has surrounded himself with really good coaches. And so they've got really good assistant coaches who buy in. Their offensive coordinator had lots of opportunities to leave and go be a head coach somewhere else, and he stayed because he's like, I want to be part of this. I want to be in this culture. The owners have kind of gone hands off, which is awesome, finally. And they brought in some football guys to actually run the thing instead of just always bringing in idiots.
Yeah.
So all that's happened over the last 3 years, and so they've kind of turned the culture around, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm still a Lions fan, so I'm still waiting for the bottom to fall out. Because that's what they do to us.
I know what you mean.
But today, they're one of the best.
Okay, well, that's good.
Go Lions.
In the current ESPN Power,
The power rankings.
I don't care what
David
power
loves,
rankings.
he loves the
they're
power
number
rankings.
5,
I don't care.
which I think is wrong.
Who's above them? Who's number 1?
The
Dolphins.
49ers.
Even though they lost.
Yeah.
So
Casey's at 2.
But have they
Even though the Lions
But have
beat
they
them.
updated the power rankings? I
Yes.
wonder. They did.
Yes.
Okay.
The Dolphins are 3. Eagles are 4. I think Lions are at least 3.
I'm going to tell you right now, the Dolphins are a mirage. They're just smoke and mirrors. They've got some really impressive wins, but they have not beaten a good team yet. Their wins are against like Denver and Chicago, all the worst team, Carolina.
But it looked really good
they run
when
up
they
the
won.
score. But here's the thing: they played the Chargers, who, as we saw last night,
who doesn't
are
love someone like just flying up the
they're
sideline
great.
for his touchdown?
They're great.
You know?
They're fast and they're fun.
It's
But
fun to watch.
the Chargers we saw last night played the Cowboys and lost.
Yeah.
And so we know
In a
about the
tight
Chargers.
game.
The Chargers are decent.
Yeah.
They're decent. And the Dolphins beat the Chargers by 2 points. And when the Dolphins played the Bills, who are a legit good team,
Yeah.
the Bills ran them out of the building. So don't buy into the Dolphins. Don't put your money on the Dolphins. They're a mirage.
Are people watching really? Are they buying into that?
Oh,
You think they
yeah.
are?
Well, ESPN's got them number
I'm
3.
just saying that people who are watching it right now.
Yeah, I had a friend who's like, I think the Dolphins are the best team in the NFL. I was like, oh, jeez, no.
Yeah.
No. The
Do you like their head coach?
Mike McDaniels? Is that
his
who it
name?
is?
I don't know his name. The young looking guy.
I don't pay that much attention to coaches. Yeah, I want results. That's what I care about. So if I did my power rankings, I'd probably put the 49ers at the top 2.
So you like Purdy?
Sure. I mean, who doesn't like him? He's He works hard, gets the job done. I'll tell you what I loved about Sunday, though.
Yeah.
Right? You got to love this.
Okay.
Jake Moody, kicker for the 49ers, right? Do you know where he went to college?
No idea.
He's a Michigan man.
Okay.
University of Michigan. So you got a Michigan kicker missing the kick so that the Browns win.
Yeah.
Just
well, he didn't miss more than one kick.
Missing 2 kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I loved that. I mean, I don't care so much about the Browns, but love seeing a Michigan guy make an Ohio team win.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I'm happy for you that your Browns won.
They won. And
if their quarterback ever plays again, maybe they'll be a good team.
They might be. Who knows?
We'll see.
I'd say the jury's very far out on that one still. I mean, they've looked good in the games that they had. They
might be better than the Bengals. They might be.
With missing Chubb and...
Yeah,
I mean, hopefully they get
both. So they're 3-2, right?
They're 3-2. They have a better record than the Bengals.
Bengals are 3-3.
Yeah,
they beat the Bengals. I mean, there's no reason not to have the Browns ahead of the Bengals right now.
Yeah,
the Bengals have some wins, but they still haven't looked good.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
I think Matt likes the Patriots or something like that.
Okay,
they're terrible.
They're really bad.
I want Mac Jones and Belichick gone.
Oh, Belichick! How do you turn on Belichick?
Because
hey, thanks for what you did for us, but thanks for making us the most successful franchise in the history of the game.
But goodbye.
Here's the door, big guy.
Yeah, time to get out of here. You only won 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I have never liked him.
Yeah. Are we about done here?
We're done, yes. We're just rambling at this point.
All right.
Okay, so thanks for joining us today, and we'll be back here next week with
Go Lions.
More NFL talk. No, probably not. Okay, thanks.